The victims have told us over and over again is that if they do report these crimes, they are retaliated against. And thousands of victims aren't reporting these crimes because they've either seen someone else be retaliated against, or they fear retaliation, or they just think nothing will be done. And what they've said over and over again is they don't trust the chain of command to be able to deliver justice. They just don't see it possible. And so the reason why we are urging that the decision making about whether to go to trial should be taken outside of the chain of command is to increase the amount of reporting, to increase transparency and accountability, and actually objectivity in that review, because commanders oftentimes are not objective. They may well be biased. They may know the victim, they may know the perpetrator.
So top military brass and some of your fellow senators have a very different view of this. They want to keep it in the chain of command. We're going to go now to a piece of tape from a hearing where they talked about this.
And one of the things we talked about, by the way, is this threat about retaliation. That's not going to change if you take it outside the chain of command. You still have the threat of retaliation. I want the commander fully involved in the decisions that have an impact on the morale and cohesion of the unit, to include punishment, to include UCMJ. That's their responsibility. It is not too much responsibility. In my mind, it sets the tone for the unit in order to then execute under the most strenuous conditions. And I need commanders who can do that. And I think ultimately, if they can't do it, then we hold them accountable.
Facts show they can't do it, and this is exactly where they're failing. Commanders and commanders alone are responsible for the command climate, setting the tone of the command, and he is responsible for good order and discipline. And if there is 62% retaliation today of victims who are coming forward, they are failing in their mandate to provide good order and discipline and to set a command climate where a victim can come forward. I'm not making the commanders less responsible. I'm making them more responsible. They need to be responsible and held accountable. And I think if we have more cases going to trial, you will see more reporting, you will see more transparency and accountability, you will see more justice. But the commanders are not off the hook. Far from it. In fact, in our bill, we are making retaliation a crime. It is a crime they're responsible for making sure it doesn't happen, and if it does, to make sure the perpetrators are held accountable. And they alone are responsible for command climate.